Friedrich Nietzsche's views on women, unraveling the philosopher's perspectives. Friedrich Nietzsche, a seminal figure in 19th century philosophy, left an indelible mark on intellectual discourse with his revolutionary ideas. Among his many philosophical inquiries, Nietzsche's perspectives on women offer a rich and nuanced exploration. In this extensive video, we will delve into the intricacies of Nietzsche's thoughts on women, dissecting key concepts and shedding light on the controversies that surround his views. The eternal recurrence and its implications. Nietzsche's concept of the eternal recurrence serves as a foundational element in understanding his broader philosophy. The idea that every event in our lives will infinitely repeat challenges individuals to live authentically and make choices as if they will have to endure the consequences repeatedly. While Nietzsche did not explicitly apply this concept to gender dynamics, it establishes a backdrop for contemplating his views on the roles of men and women in the eternal recurrence. For Nietzsche, embracing life fully meant confronting both joy and suffering, and this could extend to gender relations as well. The eternal recurrence, by emphasizing the cyclical nature of existence, encourages a reflection on societal norms and gender roles. How would the eternal recurrence shape and redefine the roles of women in a society that is constantly repeating itself? The will to power and gender dynamics. Central to Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept of the will to power, asserting that individuals are driven by a primal desire for self-empowerment and dominance. While Nietzsche did not explicitly discuss gender dynamics within the framework of the will to power, this concept lays the groundwork for contemplating power structures in society, including those between men and women. Consider Nietzsche's emphasis on power dynamics in interpersonal relationships. How might the will to power manifest in the context of gender relations? Does Nietzsche's philosophy inadvertently lend itself to a hierarchical interpretation of gender roles, or does it provide a foundation for dismantling traditional power structures based on gender? Nietzsche's ambivalence towards women. Nietzsche's writings reflect a complex and ambivalent attitude towards women. On one hand, he expressed admiration for certain feminine qualities such as intuition, creativity, and sensitivity. However, on the other hand, he often portrayed women as more emotional and instinctual, raising questions about their rational capabilities compared to men. Nietzsche's ambivalence towards women challenges simplistic categorizations of his views. For instance, in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche extols the feminine qualities of intuition and wisdom, stating, "One repays a teacher badly if one remains only a pupil." This seems to celebrate the idea of learning from women. Yet, in other passages, he alludes to women being more prone to irrationality. This ambivalence complicates a straightforward interpretation of Nietzsche's stance on women and invites a deeper exploration of his nuanced perspective. The Übermensch and its gender implications. A central tenet of Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept of the Übermensch, or overman, an individual who transcends societal norms and embraces a higher form of existence. While Nietzsche did not explicitly exclude women from the pursuit of the Übermensch, some argue that his vision appears inherently male-centric, leaving the role of women in the quest for greatness somewhat ambiguous. Consider Nietzsche's Übermensch as an idealized individual who rises above conventional morality and societal constraints. How might this concept be applied to both men and women? Does Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch inadvertently contribute to or challenge traditional gender roles, and how might women fit into this aspirational model of human evolution? Critique of traditional gender roles and Nietzsche's vision. Nietzsche was a vocal critic of the traditional gender roles prevalent in his time. He questioned the rigid distinctions between masculine and feminine attributes, urging a reevaluation of societal norms. However, this critique did not necessarily translate into a clear prescription for the empowerment or liberation of women. In Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche critiqued the binary distinctions between good and evil, arguing that they were socially constructed. This line of thinking extends to gender roles, challenging the notion that certain qualities are inherently masculine or feminine. Nietzsche's critique, though not explicitly feminist, lays the groundwork for reconsidering the limitations imposed by traditional gender norms, misinterpretations, and controversies surrounding Nietzsche's views. Nietzsche's views on women have been subject to various interpretations and controversies. Some argue that his views have been misunderstood or misrepresented, pointing to passages where he seemingly praises certain feminine qualities. Others contend that elements of misogyny exist in his work, contributing to ongoing debates about Nietzsche's legacy and relevance in the context of contemporary discussions on gender. Nietzsche's writings are often cryptic and open to multiple interpretations, leading to divergent perspectives on his views on women. The controversy surrounding Nietzsche's alleged misogyny is not a recent development. During his time, his sister Elizabeth Förster Nietzsche, who edited and published his works posthumously, may have influenced the perception of his views on women. The contentious nature of these interpretations adds another layer to the discussion on Nietzsche's philosophy and its implications for gender relations. Conclusion. Friedrich Nietzsche's views on women are a captivating yet challenging aspect of his philosophical legacy. His exploration of the eternal recurrence, the will to power, and the Übermensch, combined with an ambivalence towards women and a critique of traditional gender roles, presents a complex tapestry that defies simple categorization. As we navigate Nietzsche's intricate web of ideas, it becomes evident that his views on women are embedded within a broader critique of societal norms, inviting ongoing contemplation and debate. Whether one sees Nietzsche as a misogynist or a subtle critic of gender roles, his impact on the discourse surrounding women's roles in society cannot be ignored. To fully grasp Nietzsche's views on women, one must navigate through the philosophical terrain he laid out, exploring the intersections of gender, power, and the eternal recurrence that continue to resonate in contemporary discussions.